Welcome back to the Stoop, football fans.
Amazing.
It's your boy Lolo, and we are on the Stoop. This is not a
Together
green screen.
again.
You can see the sun blowing up my arms.
I'm all in black. You can watch my hands glow, watch my head glow. Ooh, there we go.
But yeah, it's nice out here. We got the bug candle going. It's more like a bug
It's a bug bomb.
bomb over here going on, but the mosquitoes are out in full force. It is a nice day out. The rain is about to start in 1 hour, so we better get this show on the road.
I didn't think there would be any rain after last night. It was a
it's
ridiculously torrent
It's coming
night.
at 2 o'clock. It's
2
coming
o'clock.
at 2 o'clock. So first and foremost, let's say what's up to all of the Stoop crew who has been in here since last night, since whenever I created the stream.
Director John has been on since like 1 in the morning.
Anders right away talking to John about the Rangers. Those are the New York Rangers, not the other ones.
The
Not
Queen's Park Rangers?
Not the Queen's Park Rangers.
Not the
Glasgow,
Scottish Rangers?
Nothing. Anders, good to see you, or Andres, as we can call him
Andres.
now. We got the okay to call him that. Ben, Arizona says, morning, y'all, because he is in Arizona, so it is technically still morning. But hey, Ben,
Have some coffee.
it's never
This is Stoop coffee.
it's
we're
never
having
too
here.
early to get debaucherous on the Stoop, all right? Let's go. There you go, Director John.
Yeah.
Come on, you Rangers.
Oh yeah.
Good game. I keep calling it a match. Good game yesterday with the
I
Rangers.
watched it and
It's football
it
on
was
ice, man.
It's
with
crazy.
fights. There was like a 5-minute fight break.
I loved the fight.
And then he's like, get out of here. All of you, just get out of here. Anyway, who else is here? Ben Ireland, good to see you, my friend. We even have some Gunners in the house. BX Gunners here. Mr. Tom. Bondi, good to see you. I think Bondi was actually our first comment
Wait a minute.
yesterday.
We have some Arsenal fans here. Here's BX and Mr. Tom.
Yeah, Mr.
Did
Tom
you
is
call
Mr.
Mr.
Tom
Tom
is
an Arsenal
he's on
fan?
more Arsenal shows than I am. So yes, Mr. Tom is this hidden.
Thanks, Bandy. Appreciate it.
Good to see you, Bondi. Good to see everybody. Let's get to it, man. You know, James has been talking to me about doing this Leeds United show because it was such an up and down season, or mostly down, I gotta say.
I honestly think like all Leeds fans pretty much aged 15 years this season. Easily aged 15 years.
They have to. So those 16-year-old kids who had never seen Leeds United in the Premier League are now 32.
They're chain smokers,
smoking,
unemployed.
drinking. But thank you guys so much. A full season down, another full season down on the Stoop. I'm so glad we're still out here doing this. It's the off season. We're going to have some really interesting episodes coming to you guys where we're not covering actual matches, but shows
We're
like
gonna
this
cover
where
it
we do
all
a
right.
deep dive into one team. And we've got some more fun stuff coming up for you, as well as happy hour every Friday. Don't miss it. Lots of fun, lots of drinking, and some trivia. And I see you, Donnie Rumsey. Good to see you as well. Evening, he says. So we got people saying good morning. We have people saying good evening. And yes, there is the happy hour thing. Sorry, John, I didn't prompt you on the fact that we were going to go through all of this. And hey, John, just to throw another one in the loop, how about that PSA? Let's do that PSA. This would be a perfect
PSA.
time for the PSA. Calvin Walker, good to see you. His birthday's coming up.
Yeah, it is.
So, Via Martine, very good to see you. Savage City Gaming, good to see you guys. And yes, it is a lovely day in Brooklyn. So, before we bring on the man, the myth, the legend, let's just give really brief synopsis of Leeds United season. Mark? I know I didn't prompt you on this either.
I tell you what.
I
I tell you what. This is what I'm saying about Leeds United season. It's really too bad that matches don't start at the 90th plus minute because Leeds would have won the league.
Yeah, Leeds United had the only team with more 90-plus minute goals was Man City, but those weren't winning goals. Those weren't points goals.
Yeah.
Leeds United had the most points pulled from the 90th
I want to
plus.
say that Leeds pulled double-digit points from 90 plus.
Yeah. Allison
Crazy.
and Marty Adams, good to see you from Ireland as well. We got lots of people over in Ireland. I love Ireland. I can't wait to get to Tipperary with some of my family who's out there who tells me we will have a laugh and a sing-song.
Like that.
John, we got that PSA ready. All right, we'll bring it in. And guys, before we bring on James, we just have a public service announcement for you all from your friends at the Stoop. Do you have an uncontrollable urge to scream out with joy? We're staying up! do you respond to any question with, didn't spend the money, didn't spend the money, didn't spend the money, then you might have LUFC syndrome. And what is LUFC syndrome? Well, LUFC syndrome is when your entire existence revolves around Leeds United to the point that you couldn't give two fucks about anything anyone else is talking about if it doesn't pertain to Leeds United, leading to these types of outbursts. Bielsa would have kept us up, marching on together. If it's not Leeds, fuck 'em. Champions of Europe.
Shoes off if you hate Man United.
And Chelscum. And the cure? There's nothing wrong with you. Just buy a mug that says, if it's not Leeds United, fuck 'em. And it has this man's face on it. You can get those at onthestoopwithlolo.com. Bring him on, the man from the mug, James.
The
LUFC guru. What's going on, James? How'd you like that PSA?
I loved it. It encapsulated everything so well. It was good. So
Yeah,
I got to do the lead salute. I got to do the lead salute to a guy at the museum the other day, man. A guy came in. They were an English family. And I always tell people I'm a Leeds United supporter just because either one of two things is going to happen. The reaction is going to be extremely negative, which is usually the case. Or the guy will say, I'm a Leeds supporter. And then you got a buddy, you know. So I did the Leeds salute to them, and the woman turned around and said, you know, I'm a City fan, but my husband is a Leeds fan from like the 1970s. Let me go get him for you. Brought him over, and we talked for about 45 minutes. It was fantastic. And so, yeah, another friend I made.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for joining us, and thank you for sharing it on the Leeds United New Orleans Facebook group. I didn't get a chance to say, but I wanted to tell all the people from the Leeds United New Orleans Facebook group, good to see you. Glad you guys are catching us. And we're going to see if James can get us kicked off of YouTube the same way he gets kicked off of Facebook about 6 times a season.
Too nice.
He's too nice in person.
Look at this face. Look at this face.
You got a lot of love
Pale,
coming in.
pasty.
Ben Ireland posting your emoji there. Mr. Tom says, James, you sexy bastard. Bandy says, James, didn't spend the money.
Didn't spend the money.
Peak Meditation, good to see you as well. Brooklyn loves Leeds. Hey, they do. And you know what? This is coming from a Wolves and an Arsenal supporter because we love Leeds United fans.
I can honestly say that I've watched every Leeds match this season, and I am not dyed-in-the-wool Leeds fan. I was in Maine for a week hiking and in the wilderness and very out of range of internet. But once I was able, I didn't look at the final result. I didn't look at the table. The first match I watched was Leeds.
Wow.
And I watched it like a day later, not knowing the result, not looking at if they got relegated or not. And wow, you know, it's like if you can't do it with 10 men, do it with 9.
Yeah, listen, and James, it's like I was saying just about a month ago when I said, let's talk about who the Premier League deserves.
Right.
Now, based on football, did Leeds United deserve to stay up? I don't know about that. But did Burnley, did Watford, did Norwich, did Everton?
No.
So when we talk about it, who does the Premier League deserve to have in it? So us as non-Leeds United fans, like our teams are somewhat safe from relegation for the most part, even though Arsenal spent a month or so in the relegation zone. But like honestly, the Premier League deserves more than Norwich. It deserves more than Watford. It deserves more than Burnley. It deserves more than Southampton to me.
Yeah.
And so the Premier League deserves Leeds United. And so I felt that Leeds United almost let down the Premier League because once y'all made it back, you made such a splash that I was like, here we go. Another 20 years before any thoughts of relegation is the way Leeds United should be going. We should be blessed to fear Leeds United every time we see them on the team sheet. Fear them at Ellen Road and fear their traveling crowd at our stadium.
Yeah.
And so the
definitely.
fact that we were worried about you guys going down was very sad to me. I found myself, like, not only for our fans and our Stoop crew and you, but also just like, no.
Yeah.
So tell me how you feel now that you've had a week or so to digest the season. You guys made it. You stayed up by the skin of your teeth. You got rid of the god Bielsa. You brought in an American. You got American money. So talk to me about all this, James. We'll shut up.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with everything you said, and I would say this too, that I mean we're the club that the rest of the league loves to hate, right? So Leeds has more songs sung about them than any other club when we're not even playing, right? Than any other club in the Premiership, and it's not even close. So we're there for nothing. If nothing else, we're there as, you know, the villain. So that and you know, every good story needs a villain. So, you know, have us there, and it'll be fantastic. I'm not talking about Aston Villa. I'm talking about villains and, you know, literature. But I mean, yeah, we're the villain, and yeah, I think
that's why we have
great to have us
Najee
up
on the
and,
show.
you know,
That's why we have Najee. You know,
yeah,
people are always
and,
like, "Why you got Najee?" Well, because we
yeah.
need a Chelsea fan to hate.
Yeah, everyone hates us, and we don't give a fuck, you know. So it's fine. But no, look, relief. Number one, my initial thought on the matter. Secondly, we have a lot of work to do, you know. So now it's a matter of, okay, we stayed up. Now what's next? You know, and just having it sink in. It's all like a dream to me. I mean, that whole day was crazy because, you know, I was, you know, on the lash, and then I went out, and then, you know, we stayed out all day, and, you know, the next morning I woke up with a terrible hangover, and I was still kind of in a fugue state. And I was like, all right, you know, what's what's going on here? Was all
with your Breaking Bad hat.
Well, you went from early morning depressed drinking
Yes.
to all of a sudden in an instant, because it went down to the wire.
Well, it was
if-
another
if-
90th plus minute goal.
If Burnley
Brent.
scores or Brentford scores, you guys go down.
Yep.
So yes, Jack Harrison got that goal. It wasn't necessarily necessary because Burnley didn't score. But up until the last second, if Burnley scores and y'all still draw, you're dead. So
Yeah.
it wasn't until that moment Jack Harrison scored that it was,
and it was
like
a screamer too.
it was done. It was
Yeah.
done. I mean, Burnley
And it was
could
only,
have.
I mean, and it wasn't only that. I mean, everything leading up to that point. I mean, the equalizer against Brighton, you know, that seemed to come out of nowhere. You know, Jaffe, you know, just magically being able to get that ball to Strauch, and Strauch, you know, puts it in the back of the net. I mean, that was gigantic. So yeah, I mean, and then that stretch of games, you know, that, you know, began with Norwich and ended with Watford, where we got 10 points from that stretch of matches. I mean, that was gigantic too. I mean, you know, without that, we stay down. I mean, that's those matches, the points that we got from those matches kept us up. I mean, because Marsh has got 15 points, I think, in the time that he was here.
Yeah.
And of those 15, 10 came in that stretch of matches. I mean, I was hoping that we would steal a point maybe from Arsenal, which we almost did. But I didn't expect, you know, us to beat Chelsea or City. So that those three matches kind of, you know, transpired like I thought they would. But then after that, I mean, we really needed to pick it up. I mean, we needed to get results from those last matches, and we did. So that was, you know, gigantic. I mean, you know, just immense for the club.
So James, I was getting a little crap about the Great Escape graphic that I made. I put Calvin Phillips on there, and I thought he looked fantastic.
Looked absolutely fantastic,
he fit
but it
perfect.
really needed to be. It needed to be Marsh.
But let me ask you, who would you put on the motorcycle there? Who's Steve McQueen of this final 15 points? These final, you know, stretch of matches. Is it really Jesse Marsch?
Jesse Marsch
is it
in those tight
Rafinha?
jeans.
Is it Melier? Like who should have been on there? Who should have been on there?
I'm going with Marsh, man. You know,
I thought I'd get a lot of crap of like, oh look, you put the American on there, and I'm like,
I think so too. Yeah. I mean, Steve McQueen, come on, Jesse Marsch.
McQueen fits.
Yeah, it works. But
there really wasn't one player that you can say, oh man, they showed up and they knew it. I would say Rafinha's efforts looked more like last season in the last 3 matches or so, when it was looking
he
not
looked,
that he got the results. He
right,
did
no,
score.
No,
he got the penalty.
I think it kind of started to click for Rafinha and saying, I don't want to be a member of the team. If I'm not going to be here next season, I don't want to be a member of the team that got relegated.
And then bail.
And
he can bail now.
You can bail now because you helped keep, and you showed like absolute love for the fan base by crowd surfing.
Those photos, man.
And Rafinha, by the way, look at that stomach.
Yeah.
Did somebody Photoshop that in?
That's like 300 style.
It is. This is Leeds.
What's up, Big Mally? What's up, Debbie Lewis? Good to see y'all on here as well. Oh, and there was one comment up here from Stephen Hicken Jr., pedal steel guitar, Monday morning coming down. One of my favorite Johnny Cash songs is Sunday Morning Coming Down. But y'all had a Monday morning coming down, absolutely.
Yeah.
Much love there.
It's a Chris Christopherson tune, too.
Yeah.
Him walking on his knees was a bit much, says BX Gunner. Absolutely not. He's praying to God. He was praying to God before the match. Why not give up to God after the match?
Exactly.
Because you guys got, not only did you get a result, your result doesn't matter if Burnley gets a result. So you had a little help from somewhere. Not saying that it was God. I don't know,
but they needed help, and they
needed help.
Got it.
Y'all could have won 17-0, and or maybe not. I don't know.
Hi, buddy. Party on.
Anyway, Rob Colton, good to see you as well. So let's talk about it, James. In hindsight, getting rid of Bielsa, was that the right move? Was it too late? Was it too early? Was it something that would Bielsa have kept you up? What are your thoughts on the whole Bielsa situation?
For me, look, I wanted him to stay and see out the next couple of matches, but in retrospect, I think it was the time was right. And even you can say that maybe he should have been sacked after Arsenal, the 4-1 defeat against Arsenal, because that followed on the 7-0 defeat against City. That would have given the new manager the transfer window to come in and try to get players in to keep us up. So you could even make that argument, I think. I mean, look, I love Bielsa, and I appreciate everything he did for the club, but it was time. I mean, no doubt in my mind about that. And I think they hired the right person. I mean, they needed somebody who was a player's manager, and he came in and he restored their, faith and their morale, and that was key. I mean, you see, when players come off, he gives them a hug, he pats them on the back. He shows how much he cares about them, and I think they really needed that at that time. I mean, players need different types of managers and coaches at different times in their careers, and I think Marsh was perfect for that moment. Whether he can, improve us and lead us, to better things, in the future, I don't know. But if we ever erect a statue to Bielsa, I'd like it to be kind of a dual statue, maybe with something acknowledging Marsh's accomplishment and keeping us up. Because
John made something to show you that recognizes Bielsa's accomplishments. John, you go ahead and pop that ring of fire up there. He has Watford, Norwich, and Burnley walking into hell. And who's over there just parked on his butt? Just sitting there watching from a distance, not gloating, just making sure they're hustling. That's all.
Exactly.
He's just making sure they're hustling.
James, the way that you put it was very similar to how I felt about Nuno and Wolves. It's like he also brought Wolves up to the top tier, and also ran his course, and there was time for...
He got y'all Europe, though. He got you in the seventh.
He got us some places, but it was when things weren't working, and that kind of that same wash, rinse, repeat wasn't working, and it was time to move on. And certainly the same thing. With Leeds. I mean, I don't want to take anything away from Bielsa's accomplishments, but there comes a time, you know. I mean,
Oh no, exactly,
every
exactly.
every manager, every coach eventually hits that. Well, that's my run here, you know.
Well, let me
Yep.
ask you this, David.
And I think that Mark, I'd add to that that Marsh's accomplishments actually complement Bielsa's in that they preserve them, right? If we had gone down and then you look back on the season and you think to yourself, okay, well, we allowed 31 shots on goal against City, right? We actually produced 3 shots on goal in that 1-0 loss to Southampton earlier in the season. So Bielsa ball was not working at times. We were not creating chances. Our defense was porous, you know. So I mean, you could go back and you could look at that and just say, okay, well, yeah. I mean, the accomplishment. I mean, what does it mean now that we're going back down? So I think Marsh preserved it. I think Marsh preserved Bielsa's legacy at Leeds.
Yeah, well, that goes back to when we were saying when his first week there, we were like, well, I don't know how he's going to do, but he's saying all the right things. And one big thing that he said was, how lucky am I to walk into a team that it's not like, all right, we need to get fit, you lazy bastards. If
Yeah.
anything, they need a rest.
Yeah.
Like they are so fit. So it was all about him doing the right things. David Villamartin, one of the only Stoop crew members to actually sit here and watch at Leeds United, to watch an Arsenal match, but Leeds United happened to be playing for half of that match. But David Villamartin, he says in hindsight, Marcelo should have gone in December, but hindsight is a wonderful thing. Now let me ask you, if Jesse Marsch comes in December, does the Aaron... oh my God, the American
Brendan Aronson.
Brendan Aronson. Does that move happen? Does that move happen if, because you know it was going to happen, and it didn't happen.
Yeah.
If the move with the manager happens, does the manager act? Do you think you actually make some moves in December and you're not in this battle on the last day?
Yeah.
I think we
Or
make
not.
some moves. Yeah, I think we make some moves. I don't know about that one in particular because Salzburg was playing in the Champions League at the time, and I think they had they were playing Bayern, I think, shortly after that, after the transfer window. So I think that Aronson wanted to have some Champions League football. So I don't know if that would have happened. But I think we'd have made some moves, of course. I mean, there were players out there that I think we could have brought in that would have added depth and allowed us to maybe, overcome some of the injury issues that we had. But who knows? Like V. Martin said. I mean, I don't know about hindsight. I mean, it's a wonderful thing, and he's right. But at the same time, looking back on it, I would think that like after the 4-1 loss to Arsenal would have been maybe a little bit better as far as the future and allowing a new manager to come in and do his thing.
Yeah. I remember when Bielsa was sacked and Marsh comes on, and the talk about when that was all kind of in motion, and there were some on the show that were kind of like that the decision had already been made pre transfer window. They just didn't know when to pull the trigger because a lot of what Leeds were looking at for that winter transfer, the January transfer, were players from RB Salzburg.
Well, our Red Bull in
general.
Yeah, the Red Bull community.
Well,
Right.
those clubs, Leipzig and Salzburg, are renowned for developing players.
Yeah.
So
he didn't spend the money.
yeah, and so like players like Christensen, who apparently that deal is going to happen. So Christensen, is going to be our right back, our new right back, at least until Bill heals up or whatever. But I mean, who knows? I mean, major knee surgery when you're 30 years old. I mean, who knows what's going to happen there? But then I think that's and Marsh knows these players. He knows their capabilities. He's familiar with them, and I think that can only help us. I mean, Ben had messaged me earlier, wanting to talk about this and mention it, and so I'll mention it now. I think it's a good move. I think you go with players and you're like I said, you're familiar with their tendencies. You go with a place where they're renowned for developing players. I tell you another place too that I love that I think we should look at is Rennes. And I mean, look at Rafinha, right? He came from Rennes, right? Rennes is also in Ligue 1. like renowned for developing players. They have them for a couple of years and they move on. And they obviously developed Rafinha. Now they have Lavro Mayer, who's a Croatian international, great midfielder. What Brendan Aronson did last night, man. He was on FODMOB, at least he was the top rated player for the United States. I think he had like an 8.5 rating. That's tremendous. He was all over the place. Not just the goal that he scored, but just his energy. And not only was it energy, high energy, but it was productive high energy, meaning that he was, getting his first touch was good. His passes were accurate. He looked impressive, I thought.
Yeah, I think he even had a goal. It was a tap in, but he was in the right spot.
Hey.
Yeah.
Which is something that you need. And listen, we can't forget that it's a World Cup year. And the World Cup is not happening in the next couple of months. The World Cup is happening mid-season. So you're going to have people bawling their asses off, trying to impress and trying to get on their World Cup squad, their international squad. So it's a big thing. So let's move on to this. What do you feel about the Americanization of Leeds United, or the
RB, the Red Bullization?
The Red Bullization of Leeds United. Because it seems to be happening, but just because he's got links with all the Americans and stuff like that.
Well, there are a couple other players.
They don't like us talking about it.
Yeah. Okay.
They're talking about.
There are a couple other players I'd love to get from Red Bull. So I love Gvardiol. He's another Croatian international. He can play left back as well as center back. Great player. He's rated as one of the top defenders under the age of 25. I'd love to get him. Of course, Bielsa wanted him. We tried to get him under Bielsa from Zagreb, but he wanted to go to Red Bull because, Croatians, I think, feel much more comfortable playing in Germany or, closer to home. So, but also because Red Bull is renowned for development, and he wanted to go to a place. He didn't think he was Premier League ready. Wanted to go someplace and get developed away from the Premier League. But now I think he's ready for a move. He's older. He's still, I think, only 21 years old or something like that. But the kid's going to be a superstar. Tyler Adams is another one. I'm not a huge fan of Tyler Adams, but I wouldn't mind getting him. I think he would complement Calvin really well. There's some other players. I'm fine with the Red Bullization of Leeds. I don't know about the Americanization. That's something that's got to. I'm not a huge fan of Serginho Dest. So,
James, I have a question.
Sure.
You had said in one of our previous episodes that if it's not Leeds, you don't watch anything. So how do you know all this stuff?
That's a good point, John.
Here's the thing. When Leeds is interested in a player, right, I will follow that player. I'm not following the club. I don't, really care about the club, but I'll follow the player to see how they develop in case Leeds wants to, return to that, and make another bid for him. So did I save myself there?
You absolutely
did.
Yourself.
Yeah.
Now, if you want Red Bull players, you can have He-Chan. He was a former Red Bull player.
I'm all for Leeds United packing in the Americans to get us playing together. Like I think you guys got Brendan Aronson. Imagine if you got Captain America himself. Imagine if Christian Pulisic came over to center. You had Calvin Phillips, and right in front of him you had Pulisic. And then Aronson right there on the side, with Rafinha. Come on, give me a break.
No, absolutely.
All of a sudden,
but
you have born goal scorers all around, and you have Calvin Phillips marshalling the back. Forget about it.
I'm sorry, but this sounds like a fantasy thing that I watched when I was a kid on Scramble.
But listen, if you say,
I see a nipple.
Yeah, but you say, okay, Pulisic, you want to stay with Chelsea and play every 8 matches. Maybe you get on the bench. Maybe you play in Champions League. Maybe you play here. Or you go to Leeds United. You play with Aronson, who
you already have a connection.
You already have a connection, and you want to get better with. The big downfall for the U.S. men's national team in the World Cup is that all of our best players play miles away from each other.
Yeah.
Hundreds and thousands of miles away from each other. Where if we could have 2 of our better players, our starters, actually playing together on a consistent basis, then get Weston McKennie. Forget it. Leeds United in the Champions League. Let's go. On the backs of Americans.
Yeah.
Dumping the tea in the fucking harbor.
We're watching our viewership just drop.
Our viewers
Yeah,
they're like, no. We're fine with
These
Brazilians.
guys just said they just cracked a beer. They've been cracking beers since 6 a.m.
It's one. I'm just a little mad this is my only one. I'm already down. We're only halfway into the show. But I mean, James, like, for real, wouldn't that make sense? We're in a World Cup year. Get a couple Americans who are starters to play together. It would be like if I was an American player like Pulisic, I would be like, oh yeah, you know what? I should actually be playing with McKennie, or I should be playing with Aronson, not sitting the bench at Chelsea. Yes, Pulisic has all these medals. He hasn't fucking played in any of those.
Right.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, I think as for playing time, purposes, I think that it would really, behoove Pulisic to make a move someplace else, whether it be Leeds. I don't know if we could afford his wages at this point, but that would probably be an issue for us. But at the same time, I mean, I think there are players that could be had out there, other American players. I don't know. Again, I don't know how much I want them. I mean, like I said, Tyler Adams is someone that I am not that impressed with, but I think that maybe playing under Marsh and playing with KP, I mean, I think that he could prove to be a serviceable player. I think right now there's all sorts of talk on Twitter about activating Lewis O'Brien's release clause from Huddersfield. It's like 12 million. I think he would be a good player to get, not an American, so a little bit off topic, but at the same time, I think he's a good player off the bench. I mean, is Lewis O'Brien Premier League starter? I don't know, but we need depth. I mean, we need to go into these cup matches and not field our under 23s and under 18s.
Yeah, because it's getting kind of ridiculous with Leeds United. Like, all the Leeds United fans tell me, like, don't worry, we don't care about the cups. We're terrible at cups. We have a terrible record. Like, that starts to be y'all got to stop saying that, because if you're not going to win the league, if you're not going to be in a European place, then win a cup, win something for your fans. Yeah. And yes, it's just the FA Cup. Oh, it's just the energy drink cup. It's silverware. It's all Arsenal have over Tottenham.
Yeah.
And trust me, we live and breathe off of that.
No, I would love to see us make cup runs, man. I mean, over the last few years, of course, it's been impossible because of squad depth. We just did, we were involved in either a promotion battle or we were involved in a relegation battle or whatever. And, we couldn't afford to play, our starters or play them for that long in these cup matches. So what I'm hoping is that we add depth, quality depth. We're able to, to utilize some of the under 23s that are coming up. I mean, I think there are, I would identify at least 4, right? Cresswell, Somerville, Greenwood, and Jaffe. And probably Helda, who should, so 5, who should get, significant, first team action this year. And maybe Drame. I mean, Drame is not happy with the Christensen deal because Drame thought that he could come back to Leeds and then just slide right into that right back spot with Bill being injured. But at the same time, like, dude, you got to earn your spot, man. I mean, this is big boy football.
Absolutely.
You come in, earn your spot, nothing's handed to you. So, I don't know. I mean, Drame comes back and he's dissatisfied. Fuck, that's too bad.
I think he's already sealed his fate with Leeds, and he definitely showed his.
He left like a little bitch to me.
Well, yeah, he threw a little tantrum when he got put out on loan, and I think that pretty much just seals it for him. But you mentioned Greenwood. I didn't think he was very good in that match against Brentford. I thought he was.
Well, the kid never plays. He never plays.
Yeah.
I think Aaron. Now I'm a little biased because he's an Arsenal academy boy, but I do think Greenwood has some potential. Is it with Leeds United? I don't know. We haven't seen enough, so we haven't seen enough with him. But
I think right now all these players are sitting down with Marsh and they're having hopefully honest conversations about their future with Leeds. You know, I mean, Jaffe definitely has a future. Jaffe will be around, you know. But you have Somerville, Cresswell, you know, wants to sit down with Marsh and have a discussion. I mean, Cresswell obviously sees himself as, you know, getting significant first team time, which is, I think, justifiable. I think the guy's going to be incredible. And I wouldn't want to lose any of those players. But at the same time, yeah, I mean, you know, they've got to earn their spot, right? And how do you earn your spot? I mean, you got to come out during preseason, and you got to come out, you know, in those cup matches where you're probably going to get significant playing time.
Yeah.
Show what you can do.
Yeah, James, let me ask you, getting into that, and everybody is Stoop crew members and everybody in the comments section, please, while I'm thinking about it, don't forget to do the holy trinity of YouTube and hit that subscribe, hit the like, and hit the share button if you know some Leeds United fans.
Or just plain old
or just
football
fans,
man.
But if you're tired of hearing the same Leeds United people talk about Leeds United, listen to us. We got something to say. We got something to say. That being said, get your questions in now. At the end of the show, we're going to do about 10-15 minutes of questions from you guys, and we will take priority from Stoop crew members and anybody that puts it in a super chat. Not begging for cash, but yo,
we're
do
begging
this
for cash.
We're begging
Let's just
for
be
cash.
honest.
So that being said, James, you're talking about earning your spot. Looking at the Leeds United squad from this season, who has earned the right to stay, and who are you saying peace the fuck out to?
Oh wow, I'm gonna go with the latter because it's easier for me at least. So I'm gonna go with peace the fuck out initially. You know, Rodrigo, to me, I don't get it. You know, 27 million. I don't see what he really contributes. You know, he's had some good moments for us, but it's just too inconsistent for a person who costs that much money. I never understood the purchase to begin with because, I mean, he was a striker, but had scored, you know, 4 goals the previous season. That's not a good tally for someone who's a striker. So I never liked the buy from the get go, and for me, yeah, I would say peace the fuck out to him.
To Rodrigo,
Yeah.
and
See,
you can
now,
still get some cash from him.
I remember last season, which was a fairly successful
I'm gonna get a
season
beer.
for Leeds. You grab me one? It was a fairly successful season for Leeds, and you weren't very happy with him. You didn't quite understand the you know, what he had to offer for the squad. I mean, he's obviously playing a little bit more this season because of injuries. But yeah, I definitely remember you saying that. For me, when it comes to the squad,
Not a fan, man. I've never been a fan.
I don't think it's a case of peace out, or I don't think it's a case of stick with the club. The question being is, with all the injuries and everybody's coming back, who's going to get the opportunity to play?
Yeah.
You know, someone had mentioned that they don't think that Bamford is the answer, and Marsh only had Bamford for what, 1-2 games?
Yeah.
You know, it's like what does Marsh, you know, what does Marsh do with the Bamford question? What does Marsh do with the you know, with any of the others that spent significant time on the injured list?
Yeah, I think that over the next few transfer windows, we're going to see a complete retool of the club. I think we're going to be bidding farewell to a lot of players who were, you know, instrumental in getting us up. But I just don't see them. I mean, right now, right, we have 3 players with really serious injuries, all 3 of whom are over the age of 30, right? Forshaw, Bill, and Stuart Dallas. Significant injuries, over the age of 30. I mean, bouncing back from that is difficult when you're in your 20s, let alone when you're over 30. I just don't know how these 3 players. I mean, Bill is not the fleetest of foot to begin with. You know, I like what he provides for the club, but at the same time, he's not that fast. Sometimes he has trouble tracking back. Teams exploited that side of the pitch quite a bit this season. You know, Stewart, I mean, played out of position for a lot of the season, but that injury, man, that injury is brutal. You don't see a lot of players come back to 100% from a broken leg like that. And Forshaw with a broken kneecap. I mean, he's been injured so much during his career at Leeds as it is. I mean, I just don't know. I have doubts about all three of those guys ever playing against the Leeds, to be honest.
But listen, James, in the movie The Great Escape,
Right.
it was a ragtag group of ne'er-do-wells left for dead. Broken knees, broken legs, eating dirt with the spoon. And it took a man to say, don't eat dirt with that spoon. Dig dirt with that spoon. Let's get out of here. I forget how the movie goes.
I like his version better.
But can I mention one player that seems to bring up a big divide?
Llorente?
No, because I think they would say keep him. He's got enough potential. He makes mistakes, but he has enough potential.
And Marsh apparently really likes him.
He has enough potential. The one that I want to ask you about is Cleach.
Right.
Because to me, the guy's got a lot of issues. However, there were a lot of matches there where you said he was the one with the head on his shoulders. Because he's not always. To me, he's kind of almost like your Shaka.
Yeah.
Where like some performances are just so mind-blowingly atrocious. But then a lot of times he's the one bringing the younger kids. He's got more experience. He's an international player.
Yeah.
And so like Peak Meditation just said, Cleach is a Leeds nutcase. He stays.
You got to keep your nutcases because you lost your nutcase last year, and look what happened.
With Alioski, 9th place. Without him, relegation. But what do you guys think about Cleach?
And I think a lot with Cleach, a lot of it is too that he's also a player who's getting older. Doesn't quite have the stamina that he once had. At times, I think a lot of his mistakes come from just sheer exhaustion, that he's just been overplayed. So I think having somebody who can spell him and having Cleach, maybe be able to sit out a match here, match there, maybe come in as a sub.
Or just not man mark the entire time and actually play his position.
I think that that'll help him. So I'd like to have a few of these guys stick around because a few of the people that were with us when we came up, because I think they add some cohesiveness to the team. They're obviously provide veteran leadership. I mean, I think you need to have some of that. At the same time, like I said, I mean, I think we need to start getting a little bit younger. And I think our under 23s coming up and some acquisitions of players in their mid 20s. I mean, Marsh was very honest early on, about the right back situation. He said that, but this is before Bill's injury or before Bill's surgery. And he said, look, Drame is great, but I would like to get a player in their mid 20s, as sort of a bridge between Drame and Bill, to add some depth to that position. So, I mean, the writing was on the wall pretty early about, that we were going to be looking at a right back. Marsh had said this, a month ago. So.
Yeah. There you go. Now, what about the mustachioed man, Junior Firpo? You keeping him? What are you doing with him?
You gotta keep him. You just signed him. You just brought him into the fold.
Listen, I don't think he's as terrible. I think he does not fit Bielsa's system at all. Nope. But you put Firpo on Wolves, it might be a little bit better. You put Firpo on a Burnley type, it might be a bit better. But running forward constantly, he's not a good enough attacker and he's not a good enough defender. You got to make him pick one.
Yeah.
Right?
No, absolutely.
Yeah,
Tom loves Firpo.
I would love to see him hit the bricks, but I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen. I think that Marsh will probably we'll keep him around for another season. I mean, I'm hoping that we add, to that position. So we bring in a left back as well. It'd be kind of nice. Just because if Firpo has his moments, we can sit him for a couple matches or, I don't know. But I mean, his positioning is so fucking bad defensively. I mean, so many of his yellow cards, he's a yellow card machine, are attributable to the fact that he's just out of position so much. I mean, I don't like the fact that he doesn't seem to put in an effort tracking back at all. He's late sometimes, and that gives teams the opportunity to counterattack. I don't. Yeah, I don't know, man. I would be willing. I mean, I'd be willing to give him, another season, and I think that's what's probably going to happen realistically. But at the same time, yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing him go.
All right, so let's talk about your dream signings. I know there's a lot of these younger kids from all over the place that you're looking at, people I've never fucking heard of, but I've also heard the likes of Minamino, of Juan Mata, of players like that. What are some players that you feel could really flip the script for y'all, and really, that's a good suggestion as well from On the Stoop with Lolo.com. I don't know who did that, but hit the likes, y'all. We got 60 people watching.
I'm gonna hit that like. There we go.
That just took the like away.
No, that hit a like.
But yeah, hit the likes, y'all. There's 60 of us watching. We should have 60 likes up there.
Please.
And if we get to 100 likes, Mark will give you the code to his OnlyFans. So, gotta make money somehow. All right, but James, who are some bigger names that you guys have been linked to that you could possibly see? Not to mention this whole James Milner, MBE, OBE, whatever it was, and all the Leeds United going, one of our own is now, congratulations, and everybody's like, stop congratulating him and bring him over. Not that you need James Milner, but who are some of these?
Not if you want to get younger, you don't go after James Milner.
No, I'm just saying. Who are some people that you have heard links to that may never happen, but you think would be good? Like Minamino, I think would be awesome.
Yeah, I think Minamino makes sense.
I don't agree with that. I like Mata on Leeds, but I don't necessarily know if I like Minamino.
He scores goals though, and he's aggressive.
Yeah, I like him.
I think
he
Minamino,
starts on any other Premier League team.
Minamino is a guy that is better. That people around him make him better, and there are plenty of players on Liverpool that make Minamino better. I don't necessarily know if Leeds has that.
Well, I think priorities are striker. So I think Minamino fits that bill. I like him a lot. He's a Red Bull guy too. So Marsh, again, knows Minamino, knows his capabilities, and I like that. I like him a lot. The kid from FC or New York FC, Castellanos, I think is also someone that we're looking at. I think that he also might be a good signing and reasonably priced for the striker position. But we definitely need backup to Paddy, and that's of the highest priority, I think, at this point. We're still linked to Rodrigo de Paul, man. Just that won't go away. It will not fucking go away. And all sorts of rumblings that he's looking to make a move from Atletico Madrid, and that but again, it's going to come down to wages, and if we can afford him. Look, I thought at the beginning of this transfer window, what I would like to see would be sign 3 players in the 20 to 30 million range. Sign another 2 to 3 players in the 10 to 20 range, and bring in at least 5 to 6 new players. And I was looking for that. I was looking at, of course, attacking midfielder, which something we hadn't bought a midfielder since Forshaw. So it's been almost 4 years. That's been rectified. We need a striker. We need a cover for Paddy. If Rafinha leaves, and I think that Barcelona is doing everything they can, I think, to try to make the deal work. But right now, it doesn't look like it's going to go through anytime soon. If Rafinha leaves, we're going to need someone for that position. So someone like Noah Lang would be good from Club Brugge. Oh man, there's so many players out there. We're linked with. We're always linked with people. If you put all the players that we're linked with, it's like 50 of them. It's insane. So
you're not linked with them yet, because it is the summer transfer window and everybody's linked to everybody. You're not linked to them yet, but I did read that Jesse Lingard is going to be made available.
Yeah.
At the end of June.
I would welcome him with open arms.
You
Yeah.
you
I would
shrug
love-
your
I would love to have
shoulders at
Lingard.
Jesse Lingard?
I don't like Jesse Lingard.
I think he's
I liked him on
awesome.
West Ham, but as soon as he puts that red shirt back on, I'm like,
He won't be
your
wearing
twatness
the-
comes out.
He won't be wearing the red
The red
shirt.
brings out his twatness. Maybe the white will make it.
So
will
it's like
make it-
estrus?
It's just like he was so good in the claret and blue. He was so good, and he played a little without all the twatness that
Right,
he usually
right.
brings with him.
Yeah, I think
Um,
wages would be an issue with him too. I think
Okay.
a lot of it. I mean, the reason why we've never been really active in the loan market is because of wages. You know, that's always an issue with us. Trying to think of other players that we've been linked with that I think would add something to the club. Of course, the American players. Tyler Adams, though, of course, denies that he's Leeds approached him or anybody associated with him. So that's I don't know if that's going to happen. No, let me think.
All right, guys. Well, while James is having a little bit of a think, let me remind you guys, we're down to the last 10, 15 minutes of the show, so get your questions in now. We're going to do a speed round of questions and answers with James and with us. You can ask us questions, too. We know
can
a little
answer
bit
'em.
about things.
I know a little bit.
He knows about wine. I know about random crap and ancient aliens.
And we
but,
and we write trivia, so
yeah.
you know.
And
We're-
football, too.
We're really good at anagrams
Yeah,
and dad
those-
jokes.
And dad jokes. And catching mosquitoes.
By the way, you can catch those categories on our happy hour.
Tomorrow,
Tomorrow
right?
at 7
p.m., which is
Eastern
midnight.
time.
Midnight in England. So while you're here, click that like, hit the subscribe button, and also write your questions in right now. And let's get these questions in for James or for us, and we're going to do a little speed round in the next few minutes. All right. So James, did you think of anybody last? Give me your dream signing. Probably never going to happen, but somebody that you feel could take Leeds to the next level.
Oh my God. I think my dream signing from a defensive point of view, again, a versatile defender who can play left back and center back, would be Guardiola from Leipzig.
Really?
Yeah,
That's your dream signing.
that's my dream signing. I think he could.
Yeah,
I think he would be
dream big.
such a solid
That's not big.
defender on that
I mean, that's
side,
not
on the
big
side
enough.
that were
Says the
weak.
team that spends $300 million a fucking season. You guys have like the 5th highest wage bill amongst all of us. Leeds has the smallest
We
wage
cut
bill.
it nearly in half.
Yeah, I can't. I mean,
Getting
yeah,
rid of
I'm thinking,
Aubameyang.
Lolo. I'm thinking in terms of realistic, players. I think.
Yeah,
also
but I told you to
the-
not be realistic. Don't
the
be
kid- well,
realistic.
Another guy
Not
that
being realistic,
another guy I wanna-
Erling Haaland is coming to
Erling Haaland,
Leeds.
but I don't think
Yeah.
Erling Haaland fixes Leeds' problem. I think a player like Conor Gallagher does more to fix their problems. If nobody's giving him service, what's Erling Haaland going to do?
How much service did Paddy Bamford get and kick right over or right by or right this way?
8,
Oh, Jesus Christ, at least
and
10.
then he was injured the rest of the time.
At least 10.
Okay. Well, let's get to some of these questions. Danny Rumsey is asking you, James, where does James think we will finish next season? He's going with 13th.
Yeah, I think that's about right. I think anywhere from 10 to 15. I think 10 might be the highest point that we could probably reach, but I don't think we're going to finish any lower than 15. So I think he's about right. I think 13, 12, 13, somewhere in there.
What do you think? Where did Leeds finish next season?
That's a bit of a tough one. Only because I don't know who's going to be on Leeds. I don't know who's going to play for Leeds. I don't know, what is Marsh going to be able to do with a full season. Last year you guys finished 9th, 10th, 11th, somewhere in there, and you were all talking Europe, and this is what happened. So if there's anything that I've learned, it's unpredictable.
Right.
I
And that
do
season was
expect
weird.
Leeds to be better than this season because of just all the injuries that they faced. I'm certainly looking forward to watching Leeds play, because I want to see all right, it's no longer I took over for Bielsa. Marsh goes
It's his
into next season going, my team, my system, my way. So we'll see.
I'm calling it 11th. I see Leeds United finishing 11th. You guys all owe me some beers if that happens. Next question. Peak Meditation is saying, is James coming to Ellen Road next season?
Oh yeah. I'm probably in the spring. So I'll probably do another spring trip. So I'm waiting for the fixture list to come out to kind of decide. I'm going to be in England in October, Lolo, for the Saints game. The Saints.
Nice.
The Saints play the Vikings at Tottenham, so I will be there for that.
We need to go to.
Oh my God, that would just
Saints
be
play the Vikings. That's our teams.
That would be insane.
So
and it's at Tottenham, so I could pee on one of the seats.
And then if Leeds plays.
By the way, if I
area,
do go to Tottenham's stupid stadium, I absolutely will pee on one of the seats. I'm just telling you now, so don't get freaked out because I'm not going to be on my seat.
I'm just saying.
I'm not going to pee on my seat. I'm going to pee on the one next to me.
He'll have the rolled up stadium program, and he'll hooligan it.
Yep, and I'll arc it that way. But
no, if Leeds plays in the London area that weekend, then I'm definitely going to go to that as an away match.
Right.
But yeah, I do want to go back to Ellen Road next season, so it'll probably be, like I said, in the spring. I mean, I'm trying to make it like an annual event now that the pandemic's over, and now there are direct flights from New Orleans to the UK. So.
No, well.
That's awesome. Okay, Peak Meditation. Do you think Leeds fan base will rocket up in the USA? Absolutely,
they watch our show.
Because of Brendan Aronson and on the stupidlolo.com. Or, I keep saying .com. Nobody goes to our website, but
that's going to happen.
And because of our channel. But
the invasion of the plastics. Yeah.
Just you guys watch the World Cup. So football, soccer, as it is over here, it's not crazy popular, but it's ridiculous how big a jump the World Cup has. When World Cup is going on, every bar is playing the World Cup. It's not only the U.S. team, U.S. matches. It's every match. It's actually a lot of football watching going on during the World Cup. And so if you're like, who are we watching? Oh, this guy, he plays for Leeds. Oh, their coach is actually an American. So I could see it.
Lolo, and the melting pot of New York definitely comes out during the World Cup and during the Euros. I live in a very old school Italian neighborhood. So last year it was just insane on my block.
They will
not this year.
Then I know. But what I'm getting at is the last World Cup when France won. You didn't realize it, but suddenly, you realize that my neighborhood has a lot, and I'm talking a lot of French people.
Yeah, you do. You have those French restaurants where
they
you have to go
around
in
like
and
this?
order in French.
Were they walking around like this?
They
walk around like this,
and they were laughing.
All right, guys. Apart from your own team, who would you follow if they didn't exist?
So
if
my
didn't
team doesn't exist, who am I a fan of?
Who would I follow?
I would probably go with. I think I'd probably follow West Ham.
Wow. Can I answer for James?
No.
Because James would say,
Fuck
if
'em.
Leeds didn't exist, I wouldn't exist. So no team to choose. No team to choose.
Good answer, Lolo. Good answer. Hey, I don't know. Lolo, I thought of my dream signing.
Oh, okay. Let's hear
it. It would be Vinicius Jr.
No.
Oh, on the opposite side of Rafinha? Fucking forget about it. You couldn't. You would have to. Yeah.
My unrealistic signing would be Vinicius Jr. Yeah.
That'd be good.
That guy is fucking amazing.
All right, we're in the speed round, guys. Mr. Tom says Jingle All the Way or Home Alone 2. I have to go with Jingle All the Way because I don't remember Home Alone 2 that well.
That's the one in New York,
Jingle All the Way was awesome.
Isn't Home Alone 2 in New York?
Oh, yeah, Donald Trump is in
Donald Trump's in
that. He's like that.
We're filming here. Get your loud-ass truck off the block. All right, next question. Leeds preseason tours in Australia. Surely they missed a trick by not arranging a tour of the U.S. Good question.
Good question.
Next
Solid
question, John.
Next
Wait,
summer.
yeah, they did.
Next summer.
What was the most shocking thing to happen in the Premier League?
For me, it was making a big deal out of Richarlison throwing the smoke bomb. It was just stupid to even talk about it. That's really not shocking. But
Most shocking thing for me was getting rid of Sean the fucking Dyche.
that was pretty shocking.
And you go down anyway? Like, fuck off,
Yeah.
man. At least you had a backbone with Sean Dyche.
Yeah.
It's shocking
me-
how bad Manure was this season.
No,
I think
that
for
was
me, it was
glorious.
No, that was still shocking.
Yeah, for me, it was the
you
purchase
don't.
of Newcastle. For me, it was the purchase of Newcastle essentially by Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, next
So,
question.
yeah.
If you could have one of the players from the 70s, James, at Leeds, who would it be to play now?
Oh,
Well, I think
wow.
James is going to have to answer that one.
I would say, just from a need perspective, I would like Johnny Giles. Just for. But I also Alan Clark, Johnny Giles. It'd be between Alan Clark, Johnny Giles, or Lorimer. But I mean, I would go with Giles. That's my answer.
I would go with Alice Bowie.
Or Tony Curry.
Two
I'll
and
take
all.
Tony Curry. I mean, Tony Curry is one of my favorite Leeds players that never, because Leeds was not great when he was there. But Tony Curry was fantastic. I wouldn't mind. Tony Curry would be a welcome addition as well. He was creative, good shot. Yeah.
All right. Very important question from Via Martin here. James, when I get to New Orleans, you good for a meetup?
Oh, no question, man.
Absolutely.
Just let me know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, meeting up with another a Leeds supporter from Ireland. He's coming into New Orleans this summer, so I'm going to meet up with him for a couple of pints. So, yeah, I'm always game for that, man.
All right, next question. Best manager, Wilkinson or Bielsa?
Oh, Wilco. No doubt.
No, it's Paul Bearer. Paul Bearer was the best manager ever. He was the manager of Undertaker. Come
Oh,
on,
my
Tom.
God.
Come on, Tom.
Oh,
Okay, there's Mr. Tom. If Sinbad was signed by Leeds, what position would he play? Keeper, right? He's like 8 feet tall. And he cannot run.
I have
I'm sorry
no
he wears
idea.
too big of pants for him to
is he
run.
talking about Sinbad the comedian?
Yes, absolutely. Because we're talking
Sinbad,
jingle all the way.
Sinbad the comedian, yeah, would be CDM maybe. He couldn't run a lot, but
That's for the Kings of Comedy, right?
No,
No, he's
not
not Kings of Comedy.
He was like a genie of comedy. He wasn't in the
He had his own show, didn't he?
Sinbad. It was called Sinbad.
he
yeah.
did. Yeah,
Okay, White Locks or the Peacock?
White Locks.
Ooh, there you go. All right, next
I know
question.
it may be heresy, but White Locks is my favorite pub in Leeds and has been for almost 40 years. So I'm a White Locks person to the core. But I love the
Right.
Peacock. Don't get me wrong, I love the Peacock. But I mean, White Locks for me.
It's good. That's like if somebody just threw down like Drammer Wades.
Wades.
Yeah.
By far.
Wait.
But I like Head of Steam too. I like Head of Steam.
But Dram is fine. Dram is
Yeah.
Dram is
Sure.
awesome.
Relays
That's
is good
because
back
Wades
in
is
the
no
day.
longer there.
Yeah.
That's why it's awesome, yeah. Okay, next question. Do we have any more questions, Sean? We don't.
I guess that's
No more questions.
no more questions from the audience.
All right. Well, James, this has been awesome. I'm glad we got a chance to really talk Leeds and to dive into Leeds. And if there are any other types of shows that you would like to kick off that you want us to do, we would love to check in with you every few weeks. And
Oh yeah, definitely.
And
Yeah, let's do
anytime there's
this.
big
Let's try to
signings.
let's try to make it a semi-regular event because as the transfer window, gets into high gear and when the fixture list comes out as well, there's a lot to talk about
June
then.
6th?
So yeah, got to do it, man. You got to keep up with the boys.
Yeah. What are we talking about?
Who in football would you choose to air your grievances toward under the laws of Festivus?
I got a lot of problems with you people.
I You know what? I'm gonna field that, and I'm gonna sway away from the Leeds talk.
Victor Orta
I'm gonna
I'm
air
going
my
Victor Orta.
grievances against the front office, and specifically, I believe it's pronounced Shu, Jeff Shu, who runs the Wolves. When asked about the amount of money that they would spend, and if they could spend money to be able to compete with the top 6 or place in the top 5, and he said, "We can't." If that's your fucking attitude, you're out. Get the fuck out. That pisses me off to say you can't do it because, well, we can't spend enough to keep up with them. Fuck you.
Yeah, and you say, you mispronounced it. It's we cunt. Because fuck that. We don't have any money. Get out of here. Not to mention, I just saw that Leeds United got like 117 million pounds for TV money, TV revenue, all of that. The shitty thing is that Norwich, Watford, and Burnley will get more money from the Premier League this season than Leeds United will, because they get that parachute payment to soften the blow. Yeah, for real. Because Leeds will make that money. Leeds will make more money next year. But they give parachute payments to soften the blow for relegated teams.
So is that why we have these yo-yo clubs? That's why Norwich
makes more money.
Norwich will be back in 2024.
Norwich makes more money than Southampton.
That's why it's so difficult.
Because you win money for winning the championship.
Right.
And then you get your 100 million. Like the worst place team, Norwich, got over 100 million pounds for their year in the Premier League, and they get a parachute payment. And then if they do well, they go back up. It's financially more. It's more fiscally sound to be a yo-yo club than to be a 15th place club.
Mid-table.
Yeah, mid-table.
Wolves.
It's crazy because and the difference between Leeds United was like 117, I believe, and City was 160. Yeah. So it's not that. It's not big of a difference.
I saw that there's a significant difference between like 6th and 7th, but like 7 through 17.
But I mean, you're looking at 50 million from top to bottom.
It's like a million for each spot. You know.
And then it's based on how much your club was selected to be on TV, because this was all TV revenue. And Leeds United, looking at the bottom of the table, Leeds United was a few percentage points above any other club because they were shown more on TV than other ones.
People want to watch it.
Najee. What the fuck is Najee doing on here? Get back to work.
This is no Chelsea talk. He's on break.
Okay, last question was, who would you rather see lose, Man Scum or Chel Scum? Which one goes?
Who would I rather see lose? The Scum.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too. Me too.
No doubt in my. I mean, that's an easy one to answer.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, this has been a fantastic show. Thank you so much for joining us, James. Thank you for being out on the stoop with me.
Yeah, for now.
James, we'll fly you out here at some point and get you to hang out with us on the stoop.
Definitely. Let's do it again in a couple of weeks.
I said at some point. I still gotta deal with you guys before I start shelling out money to other people.
Maybe a bit overwhelming.
Yeah. And I gotta be able to afford to send my wife and kids away for the week that James is in town.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Get your liver ready.
Exactly. But thank you so much. And guys, if you haven't already, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the share button, and tell everybody you know, hey, there are a couple Americans who actually know a little bit about football.
They don't know fuck all about football, but they're funny as fuck.
Or that, yeah. But James, thank you so much. Leeds United stayed up. You're back in the Prem where you belong.
Yep. An exciting summer's ahead. So can't wait to see what changes are made and comes and goes, and it's gonna be fascinating, man.
And now let's all support the New York Rangers.
Exactly.
And he's like, no.
Oh, that's
no,
right.
no.
You're a Canuck.
He's a Habs, right? You're a Habs?
I'm a Habs fan, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Habaneros.
The Habaneros. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep,
Very
Les
familiar with
Habitants.
that team.
All right, guys. Much love to everybody in the comment section as well. The cops are coming from us. It's
We
about
gotta
time to go. Love
Thanks
you,
for
John.
joining us.
Love you, John. Good job.
All right, Leeds this
Adios, bitches.
group.